thought we could have a little conversation about electronic portfolios. Our system is going toward them, and I'm a little bit afraid of them because I've never done this before. But it's about time that we could join the 21st century and become more competitive with some of the other school districts. So since you know a lot more about e-portfolios than I do, I thought maybe I could ask you a few questions and maybe we could talk it over.
Yeah, that sounds really good. You know, I had taken a course years ago with Dr. Janet Burke on electronic portfolios, as a matter of fact, and I've never actually used it, but it's something I've always wanted to get into because it seems like a really excellent way to have a dynamic portfolio rather than a static portfolio in some type of a binder.
That's interesting. You should say that. The other part of it is we've tried portfolios in the past, and they're so cumbersome. We pledge to send them on from grade to grade, and we just never do because they get lost and pieces fall out, or someone just chooses a piece that they wish they hadn't, and things just get lost. And I think with an e-portfolio, it's so much less cumbersome that it really could be something that we could do from kindergarten through 12th grade.
Well, it's really nice because you can save electronic documents either onto a CD-ROM or a flash drive, thumb drive, memory stick, whatever you would like to call it. You can put them onto DVD. You can transmit them electronically. So it's really an awesome method to capture all different kinds of work that the students do, whether they're written, spoken, video, any type of multimedia that the kids work in. It can be really, really effective, and it's a really nice way, very simply and with much less space, to track children K through 12.
Do you think it's more time-consuming to do it that way, since you have to take digital pictures of things or set up, photo stories or things like that? Do you think
I think that there can be an added component of time depending on the type of work that students are producing in the district. Otherwise, if these are things that are typically integrated, then it just becomes part and parcel of a regular project. Say like writing an essay, typically would, a paper essay, that as long as these projects are integrated. Otherwise, I do think that there is an additional component because you wouldn't want to just take photos of an essay,
right,
something like that.
Right.
Just wouldn't really be that effective. But the nice thing is that you can also capture student reflections of their work in, say, like a photo story document. So if they did write an essay or if they wrote a story on the elementary level, they can narrate it, they can tell you how they felt about it, why they liked it, those different components that you would never be able to get in a regular traditional portfolio.
I really like that part of it, and I think that if portfolios were accessible to parents, that they would love to see their children's reflections on their work.
No, definitely. I think so.
Are most portfolios available to the student, the teacher, and the parent, or how does that usually work?
I think that that's really up to the district and how that program is established, but I think it's a wonderful vehicle for sharing work with parents. And, that way the child has a copy of their work, the parent knows exactly the kind of work that their student has produced at different points in the year, and that way the teacher has a record also for evaluation purposes.
Who usually chooses the work to go into the portfolio? Is it the student, the teacher, is it both of them?
I think it depends on the grade level and the age range, but I think it's a really wonderful self-evaluation tool for a student to be picking out samples of their best work and then explaining why they're making the selections that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, on the flip side of that, even in terms of us as adult learners, for us to be able to track projects that we create and even use those for evaluation purposes and then explain why we enjoyed a project or what worked or what didn't work and use it as a reflective tool for ourselves, I think it's really a wonderful tool too.
That sounds interesting. I am also kind of fascinated about the assessment part where you can use the portfolio to really track a student's growth over a long period of time. You look at the state tests that we take and they take little, photographs of what a child is doing at a particular moment, but if you had a portfolio system, you could really watch how that child grew and maybe where some of the trouble spots were and how they were overcome and hear the child's reflections. So really, I think it would be a nice way to go.
Right. I think it's really great because it shows progress over time rather than a snapshot. So if a child's having a bad day, that you get the bigger picture with the portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate all your help.
Thank you. It was great talking with you.
You too.